Hello again. Thank you all for the feedback on my last video and for all the support. Today I'm just going to focus on getting good food, relaxing, doing a bit of revision and just chilling. What I'm going to do is everything I eat today, whether it's planned or not, I'm gonna record it, I'm gonna compile it all into one video, and then we're going to see how that turns out, because I'm hoping, this is the theory, the act of recording is obviously something I'm deliberately doing, so I'm thinking maybe it'll make me a bit more mindful while I'm actually eating as well. Let's see how it goes. Oh, by the way, these aren't real. I put them in the background of my food photography sometimes. I might even share a couple of shots of me doing some food photography as well. Because the good thing about this is I've got it on a tripod. I can just turn it around. I normally take photos over there. One diffuser. Okay, so we've got peanut butter chili oats here. I'm just going to go and get my toppings. Right, okay, so we've got cranberries, fudge chunks, and under there I've got some mini cookies. I measured all of these out yesterday. I did actually binge last night, but I still prepared for today because I know that I need to move forward with this. So let's put all this on here. Okay, so here we have my peanut butter chili oats topped with cranberries, fudge chunks, and cookies. I'm just going to go and do my food photography now, so I will actually let you see how I do that. In my box of goodies, I have some basic chopping boards and stuff. Obviously I don't chop anything on these because they live on the floor, but what I can do then is I can put it there like that and take a photo. Okay, the way I get my photos off of my camera is I have a Wi-Fi adapter. But now I'm just going to eat my food. So let's dig in. I felt most comfortable with my food and my intake. I'd have stuff like this for every meal. I don't mean so much that I'd have sweet foods like this all the time. I mean more that I'd put the time and the effort into making it look nice, and I'd sit down and I'd eat it. So obviously it's quite important that I return to that, and that's why I'm partly trying to record what I eat, although I promise not everything that I eat will be quite as aesthetically focused, because obviously I was wanting to take a picture of this. Okay, so I'm just going to enjoy this. It's a bit strange because obviously I've got the recording on at the same time, but actually hopefully this will mean I can slow down and just enjoy it. One of my favourite hobbies obviously is making recipes and baking things and stuff. So what I'd end up doing was, instead of baking something I knew would work and I knew I'd enjoy, I would get fixated upon making a new recipe. And as much as that obviously has its place on my blog and stuff, because obviously there's a lot of trial and error involved in making new recipes, I'd keep making another version and another version and another version, and obviously I'd be eating ingredients as I went along and trying things, and that's partly where I think it got a bit obsessive again, because that was where it first started to decline, because obviously I didn't go from not binging to binging overnight. It was more of a just mindlessly eating at first, or just sort of snacking where I wouldn't normally snack or when I didn't really need it, and then it gradually got worse and decreased into the quite scary amounts of food that just got consumed while I was in a sort of trance-like state. I was actually really scared to record today because I thought that, I don't know, I guess I thought I was destined to fail because yesterday I did binge really badly. I won't go into details. I know at the start of the video I said I wasn't going to mull over the past, but yesterday was pretty bad. And I woke up this morning feeling really bloated and sorry for myself, I suppose. But I decided that I just got to make the best of who I am now and to respect who I am now, because disrespecting who I am hasn't got me anywhere positive. Because sometimes, yeah, I do sort of think like there's kids starving in the world and then there's me who's eating this gross amount of food sometimes. But then I guess I have to remember that although, yeah, that kind of thing is happening, I need to give myself a break as well and realise that perhaps I can't help other people until I've helped myself. Okay, so we've finished it all up. According to the time of my camera, it's taken me about 7.5 minutes to eat all of that. And although I don't want to get crazy about timings and how long it takes me to eat, I would say roughly that's longer than I would normally spend eating. And obviously that's partly because I was stopping and speaking during my meal. But equally, having the camera there, it was kind of a reminder that you are eating. Because when I glanced up, I could just see myself. And on a fullness scale, I feel quite full. I'd say about 8.5 out of 10, which is decent in terms of fullness. I might even say 9 actually, because I haven't had any water yet. And I bet once I've had water I'll feel actually really full. Also, I just want to quickly talk about a couple of goals I've set for myself. So I'm not going to weigh myself for as long as possible. But I've decided if I don't even look at the scale ever, if I don't ever use the scale, then I don't ever have to be afraid of it because I'll never know the number. I need to separate that fear of my weight and stuff. I need to go back to not ever using the scales, because with my anorexia in the past, the only time I was able to start recovering properly was when my parents did the scales. I don't need to sum up my health to my weight. At the moment, I need to focus on not binging and instead focus on eating round meals that, well, not necessarily round meals in a round container, but you know what I mean, eating balanced meals that I enjoy and getting enough food every day. In terms of calories and stuff, I'm still going to count macros and I'm still going to count like obviously overall calories, because that's what macro counting is essentially, just because all your carbs and protein and fat and stuff adds up to your calories. So roughly I'm going to be eating about 2,200 calories per day, and this should hopefully be enough for me to drop a little bit of the excess weight, but very slowly, because this intake leaves me feeling very full because I eat a lot of good food. And whenever I binge, it's not because of this sort of hunger or anything, unless I've restricted because I've binged, which I was doing a couple of months ago. I would binge and then I'd just really restrict the next day. I'm not doing that. That doesn't work. It's not healthy in any way, and it just sets up a cycle, and to be honest, I bet that's why this has lasted as long as it has. By having a sort of rough goal, it gives me something to fall back on when I'm feeling a bit lost and not sure what to eat. So it's sort of like a meal plan in a way, because a lot of the time I eat a similar thing. Like I often have chili oats, particularly in weekdays. It gives me something that I can eat for breakfast, and then I'll have some kind of like fruit and some protein source and some carbohydrates and stuff at lunch. Just basic things like a sandwich. And dinners, it'd be like rice or quinoa or sweet potato or something with a protein and some vegetables. Like, I'm actually quite samey in my diet, and when I am samey in my diet I actually do really well, because sometimes I would find I'd get really stressed about picking what to eat, and in a way this decreases that stress, because obviously it's sort of like a meal plan but with specific macro goals. And then because the macros I have left over, because obviously planning things like chili oats in themselves, they aren't enough calories for me, so then I add my nice toppings and stuff, and that sort of rounds it out. I was going to go to the gym today, but I got a jab in my shoulder a couple of days ago, by meningitis jab, because you have to have it before you go to university. And my shoulder's still really swollen. If I lift it any higher than this, it actually hurts quite a lot. So obviously any kind of overhead press movement isn't going to be happening. And I was planning to do shoulders today. So I can't even squat really, because I can't get my shoulder back to do, not even high bar really, let alone low bar. So I'm not going to be doing that. And that's okay, I'll just go tomorrow instead. I mean, it's Easter, so I can just chill really. Now what this does mean is that I'm going to be spending a day at home, and I do struggle more when I'm at home, because I don't binge outside of home. I can enjoy meals and go out to restaurants, and I can eat nice food at school and stuff, and just have it be sensible portions. But when I'm at home, it's when I'm at home and I walk into the kitchen and I stand up and I just open cupboards and start picking at things and just eat and eat and eat and go back and forth between like one food and another, and then go and find something else. It's like I'm searching for something that I want, but really I'm like searching for a feeling. I'm searching for some kind of distraction, or even if it's just because I'm bored rather than trying to escape some kind of existential crisis. I find it a lot harder to remain focused at home than I do in a lot of places. I mean, I do have a couple of things on the agenda. Like I will be going for a walk, which should be quite fun. I'm quite lucky to have a nice garden outside. I know the exposure's a bit high, so it's just sort of like a blurred out white kind of landscape out there, but I promise it's blue sky at the moment. And I've also got some revision to do. I've been quite good in getting biology revision done a little bit every day, but I have been neglecting my other subjects, psychology, economics and philosophy and ethics. In particular, I need to focus on psychology because it's my first exam and I have mocks next week. So I need to stop putting that off. But I really, really want to get my binging under control before I leave home. I don't just want to blame home as the place for my binging, because it's not. Like, I'm the one who does the binges. Yes, they seem to happen more likely at home. They seem to happen more at home, and maybe that's because I get triggered in some way at home. But at university, I don't know what it's going to be like, and I don't want to feel like home is the place where I binge. I want to feel like home is home. Home is meant to be a safe space, not a place you don't want to be because you're scared of how you're going to act. Well, I'm gonna download my photos on my camera onto my phone next. So obviously I'll stop recording to do that. I'll also do the washing up, and then I will upload a post to Instagram. For lunch, I've got some Alpro Go On yogurt. It's sort of like a strained soy-based Greek yogurt with some pomegranate seeds, it's all frozen, and kiwi, and a square of Cocoa Plus. Yeah, it's about 2:30. I've been doing some revision and I've also edited the video from earlier. It's me after I've eaten too much. Hello again. I've just been out actually to the garden centre with my dad and also to Wilkinson, so although I wasn't expecting to go out today, my dad offered for me to go along with him to town, so I just went there for a little while. Got back and I just photographed my food. This is my dinner. It's got a mix of grains, peppers, cucumber and some muscle food sausages. I'm actually going to go and microwave this in a moment. Oh, and you'll also notice probably that I've changed my shirt because I went for a walk earlier and basically I got a bit sweaty. So yeah, I changed my shirt. TMI for you. I will eat my peppers and stuff before I microwave it though, because I don't really fancy microwave cucumber. Some of you may be wondering why I don't eat with my family. I thought I'd explain that. Basically, my family doesn't eat together unless we go out for a meal or something, and rarely the whole family, even though there's only 4 of us, ever eats together. Usually it's 3, maybe a couple of us that eat together. This is because my brother has celiac disease, so he can't eat anywhere with gluten because it causes an immune response in his body and it's dangerous for him to have gluten, so that obviously limits options. He's also a really serious tennis player, so he's busy a lot of the time. My mum is currently practicing intermittent fasting, so that's because she's trying to lose weight in a healthy way because she's obese, but she's done absolutely amazingly. But obviously because she uses different time periods for food, that obviously cuts down the when. My dad prefers not to eat out, or he cooks really late because he's doing a lot of stuff in the garden or whatever. And I've got my own food issues as well, so we all tend to eat separately, which is kind of sad in a way, but it has given me a lot of flexibility in learning how to cook things and make things for myself. So I was microwaving my chocolate mud cake and it may have exploded somewhat. So lesson learned, basically don't cook a double serving of chocolate protein mug cake in a tiny bowl. It just kind of struck me when I was just eating my last meal, it's now about 6:30, just how much food I have to eat in a day as well. Yes, I do have problems with binging, but the intake I require just to maintain is a lot, and it makes me feel incredibly full. And I think sometimes I do actually reach a point where I'm at the end of the day and sometimes I haven't eaten enough, and I get so afraid that I haven't eaten enough that suddenly I just start eating everything in sight, and I forget to slow down and make the most of my food when I could actually often plan something really, really nice and decadent and enjoy something that's really tasty. I just start systematically clearing cupboards, clearing boxes, and ploughing through things, when in reality I could eat a lot of nice food that I'd enjoy and then leave it at that. Because I maintain on about 2,500 to 2,700, perhaps even up to 3,000 calories on some days. So it's about 2,700 calories that I maintain on. Today I've eaten 2,200 and I'm planning on eating that for the foreseeable future. I mean, obviously because I'm maintaining on a higher caloric intake at the moment because I'm higher body weight, and I'm also quite active. I go to the gym 5 times a week. I get 10,000 steps every day, and also I'm a teenager, so metabolism wise I'm pretty much at my peak. I'm also actually still getting a little bit taller as well. I've grown about 1 inch over the last couple of months. I'm now 5'8". Woohoo! So yeah, obviously although my food hasn't been perfect lately, I've also had a lot of good things happen for me lately. Like I said in the last video, the unintended side effect of eating a lot of food is obviously that I've done really well in the gym lately. I've done well at school in my mock exams. I've got good prospects for the future. So as far as I'm concerned, getting this sorted is just gonna help me move on and capitalize on all the other awesome things that I'm lucky to have in my life. Someone I follow on social media, AJ Morris, he's really good with all the stuff he puts out to do with fitness and stuff, and he really makes a point of enjoying the process. So I'm going to enjoy this recovery process because, yeah, a lot of the time it is put out there that, oh, it's really scary, it's gonna be really difficult, and I know from the past that, yeah, it is really difficult. But equally, if you can enjoy those good times and make a deal of enjoying those good times, it really does help you push through when it gets a lot harder. But yeah, this is the amount today, that the amount I've eaten is actually less than I maintain on. And to a certain extent, I know there's that sort of worry of, oh, you shouldn't really be trying to lose weight while you're like still struggling with binge eating, because it could be due to a physical need to overeat. But trust me, I am so full right now, and my binges are purely emotional and generally fueled by anxiety. So I've really made a big deal over the last few months of nailing the physical reasons, because definitely the physical reasons were really exacerbating it. I know last year, for example, I'd be going to bed late every night. I'd be then restricting and making up for binges that I thought had happened even though they hadn't really as well. Or I'd be making up for things that had happened and sort of preemptively restricting, knowing I was going to binge and weird stuff like that. But the physical side I've dealt with. So now we are dealing with the emotional side. And being super mindful and paying attention to what I'm eating and sharing what I'm eating is helping me do that.
Okay, so last meal of the day. I've literally just baked this. Tesco have got these from frozen desserts. So basically they're just prepared and just whack one serving in the oven. This is a pain au raisin or pain au raisin or pain au raisin. I don't know how to speak French. I did do GCSE French, but to be honest, my French is terrible. What really matters is this is a pastry and I am going to eat it. And it is my last meal of today. Brings me to around 2,200 calories. I am actually full already and I've not eaten this, but it's not surprising, to be honest, considering I really had too much yesterday, so this would normally be more comfortable, but it's important for me to get into a good routine. My god.
Hello, I'm gonna cut this short pretty quickly now because lighting is not optimal, but essentially today has gone really well. As I said just before this clip, it's about 8:30. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's 8:30. I do feel full beyond belief, but I'm actually really proud of myself for sticking to my routine, even though I binged yesterday, because I have been in that awful routine in the past of trying to make up for it the day after and then consequently ending up doing it again shortly afterwards because I was so bloody hungry. Tomorrow is obviously Good Friday. I've cooked up some food for tomorrow in advance, such as more muscle food sausages, a couple of burgers. I've also got things on the agenda like hot cross buns. I'm probably not going to do a full day of eating again tomorrow because obviously this has drawn out the editing process quite a lot, but I will be talking about perhaps why I think my binging started in the first place tomorrow, as well as some of my past with my eating disorder. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to thumbs up. If you'd like to see anything in particular, let me know. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Oh, by the way, the pain au raisin thing was really nice. I slightly underbaked it though. It did say that 26 minutes was the upper end of the time it suggested, but I'd actually give it more like 28 probably, because our oven's a bit weak, or maybe our freezer's a bit colder than most. Anyway, see ya!